Good morning, Facebook. I just wanted to come on and give a brief word, if you will, concerning faith. One thing I've learned in my relationship with God is that He is very literal, and He does answer our prayers many times, not in the way that we thought He should, or that He would, or the way that we say we want it answered. And so, one of my things is a matter of faith. Now, I've always had a strong faith, and I've always known that God delivers. However, things can come up in your life that will shake your faith. Traumatic situations, death, loss, injury, sickness, these things can shake your faith. Well, years ago, I had an incident to happen that shook my faith, shook my core beliefs, shook me to the core. I questioned everything that I believed. I questioned everything that I thought I knew about God. But I will give a caveat. I was only 26 at the time, 25, 26 at the time. So I was young. But I always had a deep abiding faith and relationship with God from the time I was a young child. So anyway, this incident happened. It was the death of somebody I loved dearly, loved very much. And I couldn't understand how God would allow him to be taken away from me, considering, my prayers prior to that and some of the things I had gone through in life. Anyway, that shook my faith, my belief, what I thought I knew about God. That shook it. And so I questioned everything that I believed. Okay, so time passes and I kind of get over that. Then life happens again several times. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? God said that He will provide for me, He'd protect me. And while I never stopped loving God, I started questioning whether my life was ever going to be good, whether things would work in my favor, and not understanding that is exactly what was happening. However, during that time, I asked God to help me trust Him again, because now it became a trust issue. Not that I didn't love God, not that I didn't know, who He was and what He can do. I questioned whether He would do it in my life. If there was something deficient in me, or something I had done. All the questions that we ask when we are in a time of crisis or in what I call the wilderness experience. So then I asked God, I said, okay, Lord, teach me how to trust You again. Now, my idea of Him teaching me how to trust Him again was that He would give me the things that I'm asking for. And therefore, I would trust Him again because He's giving me what I want. See, that's human relationship. That's how we treat people in human relationships. If you love me, if you want me to trust me, then you'll do what I want you to do, or you will give me the things that I'm asking you for. Then I know I can trust You. So I applied that whole theory to God, not really understanding that's what I was doing, but that's what I was doing. Okay, so of course, that didn't work. So things are not going the way I want them to go. I'm not getting what I want, or I'm not getting it as fast as I want it. So I'm still like, okay, my God, Lord, what is it? I asked You to, help me trust You. Teach me to trust You again. What's going on? Now, this went on for years. Through ups and downs, loss of other things, just a whole bunch of drama in my life, things, this was going on. I never severed my relationship with God. I never turned my back on God. I just was questioning, well, how am I supposed to trust You if I can't have, things a little easier for me? If I can't have life easier, if life can't be more fun, how can I trust You? And a few weeks ago, I got this information from God. Actually, it wasn't even a few weeks ago. It was a couple of days ago. He said, remember when you asked me to help you trust Me again? He said, well, that's exactly what I'm doing. But how He did it for me was, things did not get easier. Things, in fact, got a little harder in some respects. Some cases, it was just really frustrating. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And He said, but no, it's easy to trust Me when I'm giving you what you want. It's easy to trust Me when life is smooth. It's easy to trust Me when I hurry up and get you out of a situation, or give you the knowledge and wisdom to get out of a situation quickly, which had been the pattern of my life. I was like Wonder Woman. I had a plan. I could get it done. If A didn't work, I had a plan all the way to Z, and I could make it happen. I could manifest whatever I wanted, houses, cars, whatever I wanted. And so, yeah, it's easy to trust God when it's rolling like that. But now comes the dry spell. I'm in the desert. I'm in the wilderness. You know, my needs are being provided for, but in a sense, on a limited basis, on a day-to-day basis. I have what I need every day. But I want it all. You know, I want, like, no, I need just, look, I need a pile of money sitting right here. So when I get up today, my only decision needs to be whether I want to lay down again, whether I want to get up again. And so he said, no, you asked me to teach you to trust me. And the only way to be taught to trust God is in the hard places. See, God is always there. And he's always waiting and willing to give us what we want, what we need. He says he will give you the desires of your heart. However, the trust factor, we have to trust that he's going to do it. And he's going to do it when the time is right for you. Not when you decide. He's also going to give you what you need. Now, what you decide is what he decides you need, which is the best thing in the first place. So it's trusting God in the hard places. And I will tell you, my friends, hey, Renee, how are you? I will tell you that trusting God in the hard places is one of the hardest, scariest, frustrating, you want to give up kind of times. It really is. But on the flip side of that, it is the most rewarding time, because there's a joy and the excitement in knowing that if you know you can trust him, and you know that good things are coming, because God has never failed you. God has never failed me, ever. I don't care what I've been through. He has never failed me. Ever, ever, ever has he failed me. I've always come out on top, regardless. So what I do now in my hard times is let me reflect on the times that I came out and how I came out, and the fact that I have lived a life that I have not truly suffered in. There are people who are suffering through life. You know, there's no good or bad about it, no right or wrong about it. It just is. I've been blessed to not have a life that I had to suffer through. Yes, I've had hard times. Yes, I've had my ups and downs. But I have never suffered. Okay? And part of that is, behind God's grace, mercy, and love, is my decision to not suffer. I don't have time to suffer. And see, it's always a choice. I can choose to suffer through some things, or I can choose not to. I choose not to. I remember one time telling God, well, I'm fearful, I'm scared. He said, okay, well then don't be scared. Your choice. You can choose to be fearful, or you can choose not to be. We all get to choose. So from a child, without even realizing it, I decided that I would never have a life that I suffered through. I would never become cynical or jaded or cold-hearted. I made a decision when I was between the ages of 7 and 14. I made that decision. Not even understanding as a child exactly. Thank you, Renee. I knew this was going to be for somebody, and God bless you. I knew from a child, I didn't really understand what I was doing, but I set a pattern that I get to control, and I get to choose the life that I have. Now, some of my choices have caused me to deal with some stuff that I didn't have to, but that's life, and that's human beings. But God does not condemn us for that, nor does he judge us for that. So what other people say really doesn't matter. Even what you say to yourself doesn't matter, because we can judge ourselves and condemn ourselves better than anybody in life. But what I found out is, once I made that choice to not suffer, to not have a depressed life or a dead life, then I've been able to live. Even through my hardest times, I've been able to laugh and have joy. You know, my family is really strong. You know, my kids are strong. You know, they stand with me. But these are lessons that I was able to teach them. So when they go through their hard times, yes, they still call mama, but they are understanding that it is what you think and what you speak that causes the reaction in what you experience. So I'm just saying, if you are in a hard place right now, all you have to do is choose to trust God. And that choosing means you don't have a plan. You don't have a shortcut. You don't have a way to rob Peter to pay Paul. You don't have any schemes. None of that. because that's human nature. I've done it, because like I say, I was a lady with a plan, so I could figure out how to get it done. But what I found out is that didn't give me the success in my life that I wanted to have. So I had to ask God, okay, Lord, what is it that I'm missing? What is it that I'm missing? And what I was missing is true trust in God. We give lip service to that. Oh, I believe in God. I trust God. I know God's going to work it out for me. Then we go over here to the left and say, you know what? If I do this, then this will happen. So now you've taken it away from God again. And what you're trusting is that God will bless your plan. That's what you're trusting. Instead of trusting God's plan, you are trusting your plan. You're trusting that God will bless your plan. That's not the way it works. And I have lived like that. And I'm a spoiled child of God. I am spoiled rotten. No doubt about it. From the time as early as I can remember. Anytime I wanted, needed, I could just ask my father for it. It's done. I could have a little temper tantrum, cry like a 2-year-old. It was done. I remember one time carrying on about something. I don't even know what. And I literally heard the Holy Spirit say, "You're spoiled rotten. You are spoiled. But you will be all right." Another time I'm going through a tantrum, having a fit. And literally, I heard the Holy Spirit say to God, she'll be all right. She'll get over it. So that's the relationship that I have with God. And I'm blessed by that. I'm blessed by that. I know him. He knows me. But like I said, the trust issue is I had to learn how to trust God in the hard places. I thought I was doing that, but I wasn't. And just over the past month or two, I've been in a situation, and it's a hard place, but it's not, because it's temporary and it's really not painful. But it's one where I had to ask. We make decisions and we cause ourselves to repeat situations. We have ways of doing things that becomes habit. And those habits sometimes bring about consequences that we don't like. So I'm finding myself repeating a situation. And I'm like, why am I still in the same situation? Why am I back here in this same situation? I thought I had figured this out. I thought I had gotten it done. I would never see this again. Well, truth be told, no. Because I made a decision, and this is the domino effect. I made a decision 5 months ago that I am now seeing the consequence of now. And it was a decision based on old habits. It wasn't even really conscious. It was just automatic. It was what I was used to doing. It's what I did. And so when I found myself back in the same situation, I'm like, hold up, wait a minute, what happened? What happened? Because I thought I knew better. And I was reminded of the fact that I was trusting my own understanding. I was trusting my own abilities to solve a problem. Yes, God gives us the wisdom to figure out situations, but that's the key. He gives us the wisdom, the knowledge, and the answers. When we come up with our own answers, knowledge, and wisdom, typically it doesn't succeed. You will have a moment of success, but it will not last. So I made another decision. I determined that at the end of this year, that is the end of my falling back into old habits. Anything that is going to hamper my progress ends in 2018. Now, that's not to say I won't see obstacles. However, I'm knowledgeable now to be able to recognize the pits and the pitfalls that I choose not to entertain. Whether it be people, situations, or circumstances, I will not entertain anything that is going to hamper my progress. So that's an even conversations with myself. If I start talking foolish to myself, I'm ending the conversation. Because I do intend to live the life that God ordained for me, which is a life of power, success, and greatness, which He has ordained for each and every one of us. But we have to choose it. We have to accept it. We have to receive it. And we have to receive the responsibility that comes along with that. Because sometimes I think we're taught that walking in greatness with God is just a bed of roses. And you get accolades and people are going to pat you on your back and people are going to tell you how wonderful you are. Nope, not true. Not true. They didn't do it for Jesus. They're not going to do it for you. You will have people who will support you. So my prayer has been, God, bring people into my life, the people who get what I'm saying, are on the same spiritual playing field as I am, so I can move forward. I'm praying for people who are beyond me, who can teach me how to get to the next level. See, for a long time, I've been bringing people. I've been reaching back. I'm down reaching back, there's nothing wrong with that. However, I need to be fed. I need some people who are beyond me to teach me. So that's my deal for 2019 going forward. For however long time I have left on this earth, I promise you, I will have a life of power, success, greatness, fun, laughter, joy. I am going to enjoy myself for the next 60, and I may as well say 65 years, because in April I will be 65 years old. So for the next 65 years, I'm going to have the life that was ordained for me. I have done the life that I was supposed to do. I have no regrets, absolutely none. I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I took care of people. I raised people. I fed people. I taught people. I loved people. That will not stop. However, the first person on the list is going to be me. And that should be the truth for everybody. Because how can you give to others when you haven't given to yourself? It's deficient. And there were times when I felt like my life was a fraud. I'm like, what are you saying to people? What are you doing? And look at you. And that's not a condemnation on me, because I will not condemn myself. But I know that if I'm not full, I absolutely have nothing to pour out to anybody else. And I've been called on at times when I've been empty. And the person doesn't suffer, the other person doesn't suffer, but I've suffered because now I'm weak. Sometimes I've been physically weak. Sometimes I've been emotionally weak. It just left me drained. So I'm saying that to say we all have to be wise, and we all have to protect our hearts. We have to protect our spirits. And not everybody who walks into your life can be helped, wants to be helped, or should be helped. See, again, wisdom. Because sometimes if you have a giving heart, you want to give to everybody. You want everybody to feel good. You want everybody to be good. But look at Jesus' example. There were times Jesus didn't heal everybody. Little is it known. Because he wasn't given that instruction to heal everybody. Because some, like I said, that's not your job, because God has a plan for them. If you get in the way under the context or the pretext of helping, you have now delayed their blessings, slowed your progress, and just wasted time and energy. Now God's got to put you in a place where now you got to learn some stuff again that you should have learned the first time. So be wise about who it is that you extend help to. Ask God. If it does not resonate in your spirit, I don't care what the story is. I don't care how pitiful the story is. If it does not resonate in your spirit, leave it alone. Because not everything is for you. Not everything is for you. Okay? But back to the matter of faith. So having faith in the hard places. And it's not even faith. It's trust. Which is, I guess you could say it's faith. But, we play around with that word faith. So trust. So I'm happy this morning. I woke up yesterday in a different frame of mind. I woke up today light, unburdened, and happy because I made a decision, or I got the full understanding that the quiet that I hear is because God is teaching me how to trust him in the hard places. So I'm going to leave this with you too. If you are ever in a situation and it's hard, it looks like there's no way out, and it's scary for you, if you don't hear God talking to you about that situation, trust me, it's not a situation you need to be upset about. I don't care how uncomfortable it is. I don't care what all the voices, all the people telling you what you should do. I don't care how much you tell yourself you should do. If God himself is not speaking to you about that situation, understand it's not a situation. And you're being distracted. So when I've learned, so when I don't hear about the situation that I'm worrying about, I say, okay, Lord, so what is it that I need to hear? What is it that I need to see? And what is it that I need to know? Because evidently it's bigger than what I think it is. Whatever this issue is right now, right here on the ground that I'm scrambling around with like a chicken, you're trying to bring me up higher to soar like an eagle. See, eagles see the big picture. They see everything. They see everything. Chickens see what's right in front of them. So now you can choose to be a chicken and deal with that stuff that's right there in front of you and waste your time and energy picking at pebbles on the ground, crumbs on the ground. Or you can choose to rise up and soar like an eagle who sees everything and will know exactly where the prime prize is. You see? I'm an eagle. Two creatures in the Bible I totally identify with. One is the eagle because he soars high, rises above. The other is a unicorn, which everybody says is a mythical creature. However, God says he will exalt you like the horn of a unicorn. I mean, how great is that? Come on now. Let's choose the good things, the great things of God, the wonderful, magical things of God. That's where I am. I want the fun part of God. You know, of course, we're taught in church about hell and damnation and repentance and sin and blah, blah, blah. I think we got that message by now. I think. And for some of us, it's still a struggle. And sin is always going to be a struggle. However, that is not the end of the story. And actually, it's not even the true story. The true story is the magic, wonderful, and greatness of God. The fun of God, the joy of God. That's the truth. Why do you think Adam and Eve were created and put in the Garden of Eden with everything provided for them? For the fun and joy of God. That's what we were created for. We weren't created to suffer. We weren't created to just live and die. We weren't created to cry and moan and, oh, woe is me and I have my burden and take pride in your burden. No. That is not what you were created for. Not at all. Read Genesis 1 and 2 and understand who God created you to be. He told me, he said, study Genesis 1 and 2 because I want you to know who you are. I want you to know who I see when I look at you. I want you to know what I created. God says, I want you to know what I created. Genesis 1 and 2. He said, then study Revelation 4 through 22. He said, because my people are not being taught about the new heaven and the new earth, not even being prepared, not just taught, but being prepared for the new heaven and the new earth. And he said, and there will be a new heaven and the new earth. God said, Genesis 1 and 2, Revelation 4 through 22. He said, that is what I created. He said, that is what I see when I look at you. Your beginning and your end. Study them. He said, all that stuff in between, Genesis 3 through Revelation 3, he said, that's not my creation. That is what happened because man made a choice. So now you got to live that out. However, that's not what he created. He said, that is not what I created. He said, that's not even your reality. It's not God's reality. It's not his. His reality is Genesis 1 and 2, Revelation 4 through 22. Get in it, study it, know who you are, and act accordingly. So I'm blessed to have a relationship with God where I get this knowledge, I get this wisdom, I get this understanding. I am blessed because he brings it to me. Now I open the door because I have to open my heart and I have to speak the words that, Lord, I want to know. I want to receive what you would have me receive. Now I'm open. I've always been open to that. Always. Always. I don't care what I was going through. I've been always in that frame of mind. I don't care what's going on. I am here to understand what God wants me to know, see, feel, and think, and act accordingly. Whether I stumble or not, that is my purpose and mission. So I just want to encourage everybody, if you are in a hard place, to stand and just say, Lord, you know what? I know you. I don't just believe in you. I know you. I know what you brought me out of. So therefore, my foundation is solid. And nothing can shake me. Nothing can shake me. You can't get shook. When you know, you can't be shook. So, if you're being tested in a hard place and you're not hearing God say, go left, go right, stand where you are and understand that your deliverance is right at hand. I love you. God bless you. Everybody have a great and wonderful day. Ciao.